Battlefield 6 recently released, and we initially thought a historical inaccuracies video could not be made on it, due to the game's fictional and near-future setting. That impression was quickly nullified, however, upon discovering a British World War II museum in the tunnels of Gibraltar within the story mode. Despite being presented to the player in an educational format, the historical exhibition is filled with numerous blatant errors, which we shall now use to properly inform by correcting them all. Let us begin with the fact that Gibraltar does actually have an underground World War II museum. Instead of basing it directly on the actual interior, the DICE developers have just made a fictionalized small under construction one here. The mannequins of British soldiers are wearing absolutely horrendously recreated uniforms. They have the helmet steel airborne troops. These were only worn by paratroopers and air landing soldiers, none of which were in the Gibraltar Defense Force. The jacket is a badly modeled American M1943, which is obviously out of place. The gear worn over the jacket consists of an also misplaced US M1911A1 and an M3 shoulder holster. The holster is being worn strangely on top of the shoulder with the pistol pointed diagonally upwards. This was supposed to be worn under the shoulder with the pistol pointing downwards. Below that, the mannequins wear outdated World War I era pattern 1903 leather cavalry bandoliers. Toggle rope is slung over the mannequins. These were standard to commandos and paratroopers, which were again not a part of the Gibraltar Defense Force. The suspenders are inappropriate US medic yokes. The suspenders are also being worn very wrongly. Like, what purpose would this strap have going diagonally across the chest? The belts are incorrectly of the American M1936 pistol variant. The trousers are again misplaced, as they are US M1942 paratrooper pants. And the same can be said for the footwear, which are American Corcoran jump boots. Overall, these ridiculously dressed mannequins should instead be wearing regular British Army uniforms like the khaki drill version, with standard gear including the Brodie helmet and 1937 pattern web equipment, all of which are represented here with an artwork using the game's models by Michael Akkerman. A grossly out-of-place World War I era German 21cm Moser 16 heavy howitzer is exhibited. It should be a British World War II era howitzer such as the Ordnance QF 25-pounder. A couple American BD-72 fuel telephone switchboards are presented. A British switchboard like the UC-10 line would be more suitable. We can find a dog tag for former British Royal Navy man William Bridger. This is a callback Easter egg to a character of the same name in Battlefield 5. American-style dog tags like this were not used by the British, however. They used identity discs, which had a different design. And I lagged out, because Battlefield 6 is another one of the many new games that requires a constant internet connection, even just to play the single player campaign. Luckily, we have exit lag to assist. Exit lag is a software that uses state-of-the-art technology, including AI route optimization, multiple path connection, and a diagnostic center to reduce ping, eliminate lag, and stabilize connection. Trying it out is very easy, especially since they have a free trial. Just head to their website with the links below, create an account, download and install the software, choose one of the over 2,000 games available, pick your preferred routing location, apply, and see the results for yourself. There is no better time to sign up, as Exit Lag is offering a huge limited time Black Friday sale that sees the annual subscription reduced by 50% plus an extra 3 months provided on top of that for free. This is available not only for solo individuals but also for duo and squad plans too, all within the links provided in the description and pinned comment. With appreciation to Exit Lag for the sponsor, we shall now return to the inaccuracies. The plaque displaying information about the expansion of the Gibraltar tunnels in the pre-war years is accompanied with a rather anachronistic wartime photograph of British soldiers taken in 1941. The plaque dedicated to Operation Torch in 1942 has a picture of Dwight D. Eisenhower taken in 1945, when he was a 5-star general of the army in the European Theatre of Operations. More suitable pictures are readily available online, like these two that show Eisenhower as a 3-star lieutenant general in his Gibraltar Tunnels headquarters, after issuing orders for the Operation Torch invasion in November of 1942. The Operation Torch plaque states that it, quote, involved British and American forces landing in Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, end quote. There were never any landings in Tunisia during Operation Torch. It only saw Morocco and Algeria being invaded. The same plaque also makes the incorrect claim that, quote, the objective was to secure a foothold in North Africa that would relieve pressure on the British forces fighting against the Vichy French forces in Egypt, end quote. No Vichy French forces fought in Egypt. It was German and Italian units that made up the Axis force there. We will notice that a lot of the information is generalized to an extreme amount. For instance, why are only British forces in Egypt mentioned here? The Western Desert Campaign saw Britain, along with several Commonwealth nations, as well as exile-free France and Greece, fighting not only in Egypt but in Libya too.
The tunnels were used for logistics during Operation Torch, a compromise operation that met the British objective of securing victory in North Africa, while allowing American armed forces the opportunity to begin their fight after Italy joined the war.
Italy was not directly involved in Operation Torch, so why are they and only they being specified here? Again, it was Vichy French-controlled territory that was targeted during this invasion. It was not until the Tunisian campaign that US forces first faced Italian and German units. The Spitfire plaque states that, quote, in 1940 a local newspaper, the Gibraltar Chronicles, raised over £5,000 to construct their own Spitfires. This was in response to the Battle of Britain, where there was intense aerial combat between the German Luftwaffe and Royal Air Force that year, end quote. This story is true, though there was only one Spitfire that was bought with this fund, a Mark IIA variant with the serial number PA394 and nicknamed Gibraltar. The use of the plural Spitfires here is thus incorrect. The plaque then goes on to completely jumble up its information by saying, quote, the Spitfire was one of 70 that was assembled in July 1942 at the North Front Gibraltar, end quote. This is referring to the Special Erection Party, which is even shown in the accompanying photograph. This unit had nothing to do with this particular aircraft though. Spitfire PA394 Gibraltar was completed in 1941 after being assembled at the Castle Bromwich Aircraft Factory in Birmingham, England. In 1942 it was serving with the number 58 Operational Training Unit at Balado Bridge, Scotland. The plaque also says that, quote, once completed, these Spitfires were tested, then shipped from Britain to Malta to strengthen their air defense, end quote. This is not even true for the Special Erection Party Spitfire and Hurricane fighters referred to in this information and photograph. These were sent in crates by sea from Britain to Gibraltar on the 15th of September 1942. In a matter of 11 days, they were then built, test flown and dispersed locally to vacant areas of the station. The Spitfire fighter above its plaque is missing its serial numbers. The Spitfire is also just an unrelated late war Mark V model. It has the subdued green and brown camo, which paired with the lighting makes it look like desert camouflage. Its roundel is the Type C1 version from 1942 onwards, and the fin flash on the tail is the 1945 variant. It also has the squadron code of UF, which dictates it must be a part of number 601 squadron. Spitfire PA394 Gibraltar was destroyed in 1943, but the actual World War II Tunnels Museum has a replica that shows how it should look like as a Mark IIA model, with green and beige camo, the earlier Type A1 roundel, proceeding version of fin flash with equal with red, white and blue colours, as well as the unit letters of S and ZP for the number 74 squadron which it actively fought with in 1941. And so we are left with a total of 26 inaccuracies just from this one small exhibit. Yeah. Probably best off that DICE did not go for another full-on historical setting for this Battlefield title. For more, click on this video covering the game that many of the museum's models were reused from, Battlefield 5. My appreciation to fellow researchers Michael Akkerman, Davidson, K-Nyne, and R4NOO7076 for their critical aid in making this video possible. And of course, thank you for watching. This has been the Frosty One, out.